San Fratello, a town overlooking the Tyrrhenian Sea. In front of it, the coast from Capo d'Orlando to Cefalù, with the Aeolian Islands in the background, and behind it Monte Sorro, the fourth highest mountain in Sicily. Surrounded by pastures, woods, olive groves and beech trees, this is how San Fratello presents itself to its visitors. A small town with 4,000 inhabitants, 675 metres above sea level, in the heart of the Nebrodi Park. In this 82-kilometre square territory, nature is uncontaminated. In the forest, it is not difficult to find foxes, wild cats, porcupines, tortoises, martins and many species of birds. Here in this small corner of Sicily, you cannot hear the noise of the city. The only sounds you hear are those of the grazing animals and the roar of the streams and Ganna and Furiano that surround the town of San Fratello. The origins of the centre of Nebrodi are rooted in the ancient past when it was a Greek settlement called Apollonia. Thanks to its strategic location, it was easy to observe the whole coast from Capo d'Orlando to the present-day Cefalù. During the Arab invasion, the town was destroyed and then rebuilt during the Norman period by a colony of people from Piedmont, Lombardy, Liguria, Emilia and France, who came to conquer Sicily with Count Ruggero and his wife Adelasia del Vasto, daughter of Marquis Manfredi del Vasto. In defence of the citadel, the Normans employed Lombard mercenaries from northern Italy and others from more distant regions such as southern France. The inhabitants of San Fratello then passed under the rule of various baronies, from the Angevin Gilo d'Alesi to the Coupans. However, the inhabitants of the town were perceived as foreigners by their fellow Sicilians, who referred to them as the French. An epithet that probably derives from the language they spoke, and still speak, the gallo-italic. A particular parlance that makes the town special and unique, especially in the eyes of linguists and philosophers. The name San Fratello is owing to this language that is incomprehensible to most people. Its original name, Castrum Philadelphii, derives from one of the saints venerated in the 13th century sanctuary, i.e. San Filadelfio. The name San Frero, due to the assonance between Frau, Philadelphio, and Frère, brother, and the French frère, has become San Fratello. The territory of San Fratello, situated in the Nebrodi Park and home to a forest that is almost completely conserved in its natural state, is a spectacle for all visitors. It remains a charming but extraordinarily fragile area. San Fratello was completely destroyed by 2 landslides in 1754 and on the 8th of January 1922. This latter extensive landslide led to the idea of founding the coastal town of Acquadulci, or as the inhabitants of San Fratello call it, La Marina. At the time of Mussolini, forbade the reconstruction of the mountain town, but the inhabitants, with great pride and obstinacy, and driven by the desire to continue sheep farming in the territory, returned and rebuilt the town. But the town of San Fratello has not found peace since then. The last landslide of February the 14th, 2010, devastated the Stazione and the Riana districts, the school, and forced about 1,000 inhabitants to flee their homes that became uninhabitable. The unfreezing of the FAS funds, that is, the National Fund for Underused Areas, together with the relocation project, provide hope for the revival of San Fratello, wanting to resurrect as a phoenix from its ashes and return to fly in the Nebridi sky. Despite the landslides that have over the centuries destroyed much of the artistic and archaeological heritage of San Fratello, it is still possible to find traces of the old times in the territory. These include the San Teodoro cave, where Stone Age relics like fossilized bones and tools were discovered, and also the ruins of the ancient Roman settlement Apollonia. Once, before the disastrous landslides of 1754 and 1922, there were about 27 churches and 52 priests in San Fratello. Today, you can still admire the shrine dedicated to the three saints, Alfio, Cirino, and Filadelfio. It was built in Norman style around 1090 on the Old Mount, a lonely place that still manages to conserve the charm of the past and of heritage. The sanctuary was founded on the ruins of the ancient church of Santa Maria Palateorum, built with materials salvaged from a Greek temple. That is why the result is a mixture of styles and traditions. It consists of a single geometrically shaped nave and two small lateral aisles. The three environments are divided by walls that also serve as a support to the arches and the dome. On the right side of the building, there is a small monastery, which was inhabited until the 40s by a mendicant friar. The shrine, considered one of the pre-existing buildings of the Greek Orthodox monks, followers of the rule of Saint Basil, and is directed to the east because of the rising sun representing new life in Christ. The entire complex, now a national monument, used to be under the authority of the Abbey of San Filippi. During the Normans' presence in San Fratello, agriculture, trade and art were encouraged. Among the first works realised by them were the Castle of San Filadelfio and the Church of San Nicolo. Only the ruins of the church now remain, as it was destroyed by the landslide of 1922, then rebuilt in 1953 and became unfit for use again after the Another important church is the one dedicated to Mother Mary of the Assumption, located in Piazza del Convento. The facade of the church was built in the style of the Franciscan churches. Its peculiarity can be found inside. The tabernacle altar, made of finely carved wood by a Franciscan around 1700. Here you can also admire the silver triptych, depicting the lives of the patron saints. Another wonderful work is the wooden crucifix by Fra Umili da Petralia, placed at a high altar. monastery was started in the second half of 1500 and completed in early 1600, and for centuries remained as a centre of culture and a source of pride for San Fratello. The cloister completes the structure of the convent, a rare example of Sicilian Baroque. We should also mention the public library built in 1550, which is part of the convent and contains about 3,000 volumes, including rare and precious codes. The library bears the name of Benedetto Craxi, a native of San Fratello, grandfather of politician Bettino. The Church of St. Mary of Graces was built in 1600 in late Baroque style and is situated in a truly unique place, while the Church of San Antonio Abate is from 1800. The church dedicated to San Benedetto il Moro, who was born in San Fratello around 1524, is from 1943. He was the first black saint to be canonized with a regular canonical process by Pope Pius VII in 1807. Among the buildings, another one that is interesting from an architectural point of view is the Meymaneh Building, erected in the 15th century with the characteristic shape of a tower and underground vaults. Even if the most important relics of the historical and artistic heritage of San Fratello were destroyed in the landslide disaster of 1922, it is true that the town still has much to offer those who love mountains and traditional ceremonies that are rooted in the past. One of these, and perhaps the most original, is the Holy Week with the Judeans and the festival
La festa dei
of May
Giudei
10th.
è una manifestazione folcloristica della settimana
Feast of the
santa
Judeans
che
is a
richiama nel
traditional
centro nei
festival
Bruideo ogni
during the
anno
Holy Week,
migliaia di
which
visitatori
attracts
e
thousands of
appassionati di
visitors and
tradizioni
fans
popolari.
of folk traditions to the
Per le
centre of
strade del
Meymaneh
centro,
every year.
mentre si svolgono le processioni
During the
religiose,
religious
gruppi di
procession,
persone
the
con i
streets in
volti
the town are
coperti
filled
e
with
con i
groups of
vestiti
people
sgargianti dal
wearing
costume
colourful masks and
variopinto,
wearing colourful
scorazzano
costumes
e
and
disturbano
playing
i fedeli
trumpet
con il
music.
suono irriverente delle loro trombe.
The
I
Judeans
giudei
wear yellow
indossano uniformi
uniforms and red
ottocentesche colore
embroidered
giallo e
gilded
rosso
helmets and
ricamate,
shoulder pads.
elmi e spalline
Their
dorate,
faces are covered
il
with a
volto
hood
coperto da un
featuring a tongue of
cappuccio
cloth
caratterizzato
with a
da
cross
una lingua di
embroidered on
stoffa
its tip
con una
and
croce
a long
ricamata
black
sulla
tail.
punta ed una lunga coda nera.
They represent transgression, and on Holy Thursday and Good Friday they pack the bars, taverns, and play in the houses where they are offered sweets and wine. Over time, the Feast of the Judeans has changed, but it remains a tourist attraction and a tradition to maintain and preserve. Over time, the Feast of the Judeans has changed, but remains a tourist attraction and a tradition to maintain and preserve. During the festival on the 10th of May, the town's inhabitants reach Mount San Fratello on horseback. It's a medieval custom dating back to the days of the beatification and the canonization of the patron saints Alfio, Torino and Filadelfio. The mountain is also known as Old Mountain, where there is a shrine dedicated to the three patron saints. Besides the culture, art and folk that characterises San Fratello, we need to mention the national heritage with a forest that occupies almost the whole territory. The precious flora and fauna of the area is undoubtedly a source of interest thanks to the unique vegetation that can be admired by the visitors. If you take Road 289, you will end up in the middle of a fairy tale among oaks, cork oaks, elms and beeches. The forest of San Fratello is an ideal place for camping and day trips. From here you can admire the beautiful scenery of Etna and the two lakes, Malazzo and Biviere on the slopes of Mount Sorrow, also reachable by car. In the area of San Fratello, you cannot miss the charm of some pastoral areas, evidence of an economy based mainly on the breeding of cattle and of the autochthonous horse. In San Fratello, family farming businesses continue to thrive. The land is rich in pastures that are not used only for the cattle breeding, but also for the sheep, goats and recently the black pigs of Nebridi, a breed known all over the world. In the territory of San Fratello, animals graze in the wild with regular transhumance, which usually takes place between June and October. This activity, handed down from generation to generation with traditional methods, gives rise to numerous local products: cheese, milk, cottage cheese and salami. They are all genuine products with a high nutritional value and above all a treat for the palate. San Fratello is an ideal place to relax in the green, to go back in time with the help of the traditional festivities, and also to hear a particular language, despite its location in the heart of Sicily. Until recently, the town has based its economy on the trade of livestock and local products such as cheeses, sausages and cakes. Today the town is looking ahead. While continuing to keep the ancient traditions and activities alive, it is investing energy and resources in tourism. Visitors can choose from hotels, restaurants, bed and breakfasts in the historic centre, or in the outskirts, and remain in touch with uncontaminated nature. San Fratello would like to become the preferred destination of tourists who love being in contact with nature, wandering among the lush forests, encountering wild animals, discovering flowers and mushrooms hidden under the leaves. Or a destination for those who love hiking, breathing clean air, lakes and high peaks, and those who desire to go for a healthy gallop on a San Fratello horse. San Fratello, in addition to the pure and unspoilt nature, also offers culinary delights for everyone. You can taste various types of meat from local farms, or dairy products like cheese and fresh or seasoned ricotta. For those with a sweet tooth, San Fratello offers black and white passe volant and new natuli with almond paste and sugar-coated pignolata with local honey. A centre of history, culture and traditions, full of colours, smells and tastes. The visitors are invited to discover these treasures guarded by time. San Fratello is waiting for you.